With the introduction of patch 4.5 and engineering, the balance of the entire game has shifted. Civilian shields are better than industrial, ballistics can keep up with laser weapons, and some ships have secretly grown in power under the radar. I've been testing the Meteor since 4.5 PTU, and it has, once again, caught my attention because of the changes to ballistic weapons. Before I get into that, I need to provide certain caveats. I would still classify the Meteor as a ship that requires expert-level pilot control to be successful with. Not that you need to be the best pilot, but you'll at least need enough experience flying the Meteor to be successful with it, and there's a few reasons for that. The Meteor feels like a forgotten ship, as it's still sporting damage modifier values from the previous patch, where other ships have been changed to meet new standard values. It has minus 25% on physical damage modifiers, which is normal for most ships. Some have minus 30%, and for a few smaller snub styles, it can even be as low as minus 15%. But the crazy stat that remains is only a minus 5% to energy weapons, where most ships have minus 40% to energy damage, and lowest we even see in snubs is minus 30%. It's still also got a minus 5% to distortion damage, which is also not seen on other ships anymore, just more evidence that this ship was overlooked in the recent patch. Another problem is that out of the Meteor's 4 size 3 weapons, one is accidentally attached to a size 5 gimbal mount, and is locked as if it's one of the bespoke Leonid cannons. So you're only able to swap 3 of the size 3 weapons at the moment. But the Leonid cannons also have the same damage value from the previous patch. Whether this will remain or not is uncertain, but the damage from these makes up for at least some of these problems. Comparing the Leonids to the Deadbolt 5s, the Leonids do 1600 damage per shot, and the Deadbolts only do 1024.2, which is a damage difference of over 56%. Often, bespoke weapons have a small advantage over their non-bespoke counterparts, but this is quite the difference. On top of that, even among all the ships able to equip Deadbolt 5s, very few have the speed to deliver such a slow weapon accurately. Both the Leonids and the Deadbolts have projectile speed over 800 meters per second, but the larger alpha damage on the Leonids makes it worthwhile to use, as slow weapons are usually only effective against slow targets. But a ship fast enough can deliver these shots on more agile targets. This puts the Meteor in a unique position. But there's lots of ballistic weapons, and some that are easier to use than slow-firing, slow-moving cannons. Why would you use these over the other options? Allow me to explain. When 4.5 was being balanced in the PTU, it went through many changes. Early on, most ballistic weapons could penetrate the hull of a ship to damage components. This ended up being mostly disastrous, as a few well-placed shots rendered your ship useless in a matter of seconds. So, naturally, CIG dialed it back quite a bit. The iteration we now have is one that has very few ballistic weapons that can actually penetrate to damage components due to the stat ammo penetration, distance, and radius. Sure, you'll be able to penetrate with some ballistics on smaller ships, but don't forget that your damage is mitigated by shields and armor, so you'll need a combination of massive alpha damage, long enough ammo penetration distance, and the right ship to deliver such a blow in order to penetrate the hull and damage a component. The Meteor is one of the few ships that fits the bill. When I was first testing this in the later release candidate builds, I couldn't believe the damage. I was literally one-tapping ships on a single pass with nothing but the Leonids. Some ships went critical shortly after taking a few volleys of Leonid slugs. Is this strategy meta? Probably not. But is it fun? Hell yeah it is. The only trick with the Meteor is to not get hit, because if you couldn't tell already, the Meteor is a glass cannon. It's interceptor tuned, making it extremely fast in a straight line, but not maneuverable. So if things get dicey, you need to get the hell out of Dodge. You'll basically want to get your Leonids on one trigger or mouse click, and have your pips separated or just entirely turn off the other size 3 weapons to give more power to shields and engines. Those weapons might give a little boost in damage, but it's the cannons that do the serious damage. I've been trying some distortion weapons as well, but I need more time to test out that combination.
Basically, you want to keep your pips as simple as possible, and you'll need to get good at hitting your target when the pips are aligned just right, which can be a small window of opportunity. The The Leonids aren't like other cannons where you can hold down the trigger. Each volley requires its own trigger pull. You'll probably die the first few times you try this, but don't get discouraged, because once you get it, you'll love it. What I've come to notice is the Meteor isn't actually the greatest ship against significantly larger targets, despite the famous claim that it punches above its weight. The Meteor specializes in quickly dispatching medium and heavy fighters. This is where the Leonids see their full effectiveness, as they can easily damage key components on these types of ships. Some of the larger ships still have far too much protection from even the likes of a Meteor, and it cannot survive battles of attrition. It needs to kill its targets quickly, or it can get ugly fast. So, if it wasn't clear, the Meteor walks a delicate tightrope between dishing out damage and trying to avoid damage. And as rewarding as this feels to successfully accomplish, this is also what makes this a difficult ship to pilot effectively. It definitely doesn't help that it doesn't have the correct damage modifiers applied either. If you check out my previous video on the Meteor, I get into the strategy and setup for this ship a little more. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out. You can find the Meteor available for purchase at New Deal in Lorville, as well as mission turn-ins from Wicklow. Give it a shot, fly safe, and have a blast. And with that, I'll see you around in the verse, citizens. Take care.